OPEC Plus has decided to cut oil production. This means oil prices will rise. This means that Saudi Arabia will make more money thanks to oil exports. It also means that Russian revenues will rise. Russia will be able to prosecute its war on Ukraine better. As Washington, D.C. sees it, this war, this Russia-Ukraine war, must be won. Russia is a threat to the security of Europe and to the security of the world. It has flagrantly violated the sovereignty of a neighbor and engaged in an action that is more akin to the last century and out of place in this. The post-war order, if it has to be sustained, can only be sustained by the defeat, if not the destruction, of Russia. So, for Washington, D.C., this action is a betrayal. For years, the U.S. Uncle Sam has guaranteed Saudi security. It was a deal that President Delano Roosevelt made with Ibn Saud, and the U.S. then imported a lot of Saudi oil and guaranteed that the House of Saud would rule without much discomfort either from external threats or internal rebellion. Over the years, Saudi exports to America have whittled down. Energy independence on the part of the US is now a reality. The US has massive oil and gas reserves. Its natural gas production has shot up. Natural gas has become very cheap in the US. This gives the US a huge advantage in industrial production. But it also means that the ties to the US, the economic ties to the US that the Saudis have had for decades, have been weakening. The Saudis now export east. They are looking east. They are looking to China and India as big markets. And today, of course, for India, Saudi Arabia is its biggest exporter of oil. Saudi Arabia is number one and Russia is number two for India right now. And so given this trend, the Saudis in any case have been bit by bit moving away from the US, economically at least. Under Mohammed bin Salman, relations have frayed for obvious reasons. The chopping up of a journalist in Istanbul in the Saudi embassy did not help. Yes, of course, Joe Biden came for a fist bump with Mohammed bin Salman in the hope that Mohammed bin Salman, the new impetuous crown prince, the de facto ruler of Saudi Arabia, would listen to his entreaties and increase production. Instead, Mohammed bin Salman has acted in his self-interest, and so have the other oil producers. They are behaving as they did in 1973, when an oil shock sent prices soaring and consigned the rest of the world, and in particularly the richer economies, to a decade of stagflation. So this decision by OPEC Plus has really thrown the gauntlet to the US. Of course, the White House is not pleased. The staff there are behaving like cats on a hot tin roof. There's also another wrinkle in this matter. The US faces midterms this November. If inflation rises, then the Democrats are likely to lose at least the House of Representatives, if not the Senate. And so Mohammed bin Salman's action, or the Saudi-led OPEC Plus action, does two things. It challenges American foreign policy interests against Russia, and it puts the ruling party and the current ruling president at risk. Given this development, Saudi-US relations are going to see a reevaluation. Already there is talk of stopping collaboration and cooperation and military sales. Relations have been strained for a while. The glue that bound Saudi Arabia and the US is not so thick anymore. Similarly, the Iran deal, which may be jettisoned for now, and of course Iran is not doing itself any favors by sending missiles over to Russia, but the Iran deal might suddenly start seeing some sort of a thaw. All in all, it's a volatile world, or as the Pentagon likes saying, it's a volatile, uncertain, complex, and ambiguous world. They love acronyms, and VUCA is one of them. We have a friend and a dear reader of Fair Observer who loves these acronyms. And in this VUCA world, we will certainly see one thing, and that is that edge of the wedge between Saudi Arabia and the US is going to get sharper. Relations will decline over the long term, and OPEC Plus and the US are not just set on a collision course. They will actively act for a while as foes. The US will try its best to use every lever to get OPEC Plus to change course. And it is the classic divide that happened back in 1973 between oil producers and oil consumers. Oil producers want higher prices. Oil consumers want lower prices. And now this will play out not just in the economic, but the geopolitical realm.
Join the conversation at Fair Observer and subscribe to our YouTube channel.